guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Thank you for joining me today. It really does mean a lot. So today is exciting. Well, it's exciting for me and I'm hoping it's going to be exciting for you guys. I'm starting a new series. I've run it by a few people, a few friends who have YouTube channel, and they've said it's a really good idea. So I want to start doing this series. Do I really need it? You've seen how many eyeshadow palettes I have in my collection. On the last high-end eyeshadow palette collection that I did, there was over 80. And there's over 80 in my drugstore. I counted them the other day. I want to do that collection really soon. So, you know, that's 160, and I've got other palettes elsewhere. This is not me bragging. This is just me trying to talk myself out of getting this palette. I mean, I absolutely love pastels. You know I love pastels, right guys? And even just going through my pastel palettes alone, I thought maybe I had 1 or 2, 5 at the most, because I have got like Colourpop, that tie-dye series that they brought out, so I knew that I had 3 there, and Lisa kindly bought me 1, and I bought myself a couple as well, so I thought I had, I don't know, 4 or 5. I've got 20 guys. They're not all pastels in there, but they have pastels in them, and I'm going to do a video about that later on. But for this video guys, you know I've wanted the Natasha Denona Pastel Palette because I've been talking about it a lot in my recent videos. Now I've got their picture, so that's their picture on the Natasha Denona website, and let's see if I can get you their swatches. Yeah, that's their swatches there. I've got to say, the swatches that I've seen people do, they're not like that. I don't know what they've done to get their swatches that bright. So that's what it's looking like. So that's what it's looking like on camera. I think what they've done is put overhead lights down. They've done everything to make them brighter than what they are. I don't want to put somebody's picture in because they might not want me to, but I've seen not very good swatches and it's not making me want it. I know I've got pastel palettes better than how they've swatched. The best person I've seen do some swatches is, I'll show you, and she does swatches, and what she does is she'll swatch them with her fingers and then she'll swatch them with a brush, and these are brush swatches that I'm showing you now, and I'll put her name so you can go and check her channel out if you want to, but I don't want to show you the other swatches that I saw on Instagram, but they weren't very good guys, and I'm not saying that that's her swatches, I'm just saying they wasn't very good, and it's made me think twice about getting the palette. It's a £60 palette. If I can dupe these shades, which I've already tried doing, I've written them down in a notepad, if I can dupe them or get something pretty close to building that palette, then I don't need it. So we're going to go over to the vanity table now just behind me, and we're going to try and do that. So let's go over to the vanity table now and let's try and do it. So before we start guys, we're going for the vibe of the Natasha Denona Pastel Palette. I can't know if it's a dupe because I don't have that palette. I'm probably, I don't know, probably I will buy it at some point because I love Natasha Denona's formula. But for now, while it's all the hype and while I see more reviews, I don't need it in the collection. And I don't know if I'll be getting it in future. But for now, I've got strong opinions on not buying this £60 palette. Right, so what I've done is I've written it all down here. So Natasha Denona Self-Made Pastel Palette. So I've got all the shades down here of her palette, of the Natasha Denona palette, and then I put all the shades down here from these palettes here that I think will match these shades here. And I know there's a lot of palettes, but that really doesn't matter to me. I'm not that bothered. It's like Natasha Denona's palette, then I'm not that bothered about dipping into different eyeshadows. So for the first shade, it's a pink. I'm going to show you off this. So it's, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's a pink. I'll insert this photo actually into the video. So it's a pink. So that one has come from the Juvia's Place, the Deuce. and it's Creme. It's this one, and it's actually probably my favourite pink. I could do getting those swatches off. Right, so as I was saying, this one is my favourite pink, and I've hit pan on it already, so that's it. That is close to the Natasha Denona one. Right, so I'll show you that. In fact, I won't keep going back and forth to the photograph. I'll have it linked all throughout this video so you can see it. But that's Creme from the Juvia's Place, the Deuce. And then the next shade is called Illusion. So I know what that one. So I know where that one's coming from. Oh, that one's coming from the Deuce as well. No, it didn't come from there. Sorry. And back and forth, back and forth. Actually, I've had a look, and it's more of a white pink shade. Now it looks quite patchy on this lady's arm. If you can see that there, it looks quite patchy. But we're just going to take it out of this one. So we'll use this because in Natasha Denona's picture, let me just show you that so you know what I'm talking about. It looks like it's got a white to pink shift. I don't think you'll see it, but I'm gonna try and take pictures of everything as I'm talking just so you can see it. So this shade here, Tight, has got a white to pink shift as well, so we're gonna put that on next. I don't know if you can see that on the finger. It is crumbly, but yeah, there's definitely a white to pink shift, and you can definitely see that in the camera. So I don't need the Just a Glitch palette. I'll show you what I was going to use. I was going to use that white one there, and that white one is called Dial Up, but it doesn't have that pink shift. So I don't need that one, so that's good. Less palettes to talk to you about. The next shade is called Mint Frost, and it's not actually mint, guys, it's more of a silver. So I thought the closest I have in my collection, well, I've got two. I could use Mont Blanc, this one here, and this Rush Hour. I think Rush Hour is nicer, so we'll go with Rush Hour. I don't really like these shimmers, if I'm being honest, guys. I've spoke about that so much in my BH Cosmetics videos that I did. But I love the mattes from that palette, and that's why it's still in the collection. Right, so that one is a dupe for Mint Frost. And I will show you on the lady. Can you see how much of a dupe it is? It's that one there. But like I said, I'm not going to keep going in. But that's Mint Frost. The next one is Bora, which is Juvia's Place Custard. So it's this purple shade here. I don't know if this one is an exact dupe, but it's as close as I could get in my collection. I'm going to do 2 swatches of that. Then we've got Dainty. I put the wrong shade, so it's from Lost in Los Angeles. What shade is it? Right, so it's the shade The Hills, that one there. And Sarah Rose did a video like this. I saw it yesterday, and I was already contemplating doing this video. And she used this BH Cosmetics palette for some of the shades, and she used another palette. I think it was an indie palette. Can't remember what the company was called. But yeah, I mean, that is a good dupe, I would say. And then we've got, let me just write that down actually. So for Dainty, we're using The Hills. And then for Brisk, it's from the Moira palette. So this is the one that Lisa got me. Isn't it beautiful? What shade was it again? Dreaming. So Dreaming is this one here. So that's Dreaming, and then the next shade is Adriatic. So for that one I wanted a special shade, so I thought I would go into my Kaleidos palette, only because I wanted the special shade, otherwise I wouldn't need to use this many palettes. And I want to get more use out of my palettes this year, and I thought I could use this one here, Aloe Cove. These shades, guys, are so stinking pretty. I mean, they are toppers in fairness, but I think with glitter glue you'd be able to just put that all over the lid and it would be beautiful. So that's the dupe for Brisk. No, sorry, Adriatic. And then the dupe for Starlight that I've chosen is Sunset Boulevard, and that's from Lost in Los Angeles. So I'm getting most of my shades from Lost in Los Angeles. Sunset Boulevard is this one here. I mean, that is one of the shimmers that I do like. It's really pretty. Then we've got Bellini, that's in the Natasha Denona Pastel Palette. And the dupe for it is this one, We Her, from the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles. And just because it's a light colour, I'm gonna swatch that twice. Then we've got Bubble, and the one that I found was out of my Colourpop Limoncello palette, and it's La Festa, which is that one there. So that's it there. It's probably a little bit darker than what's in the palette. I've also got this Exotica shade here, which might be better. Let's do a swatch of that. Yeah, that's more of a dupe for it. It's more of a cornflower blue, and this shade here, La Festa, does look like a cornflower blue, but it's not really. So the one in the Primark Exotica is more of a dupe for it. We've also got some in here, so if you've got the Colourpop in a Trance, you could probably use this shade here, Transcendence. Right, then Limoncello. Now I put Strobe Lights, just really gritty, guys. So Strobe Lights is the palest yellow I've got in the palette, but there's also one in that Limoncello palette. I wouldn't say it's a pastel though, but I do like that more, so we'll just say Serenade. So Serenade, and then I'll show you what the one in the Citrine looks like. So that's the one in the Citrine. That one is more like the one from the Natasha Denona palette. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to put it at the side of it so you can see that it is more of a dupe, because this yellow here is too dark, and that one there from the Citrine is bang on. So in my list it does say the Citrine palette, and then for Duet it's a very light pink. So I've got a shade in here in this Glam Shop palette, Giggler here. So it looks like that. Now I put glitter glue on with it before, so when I swatched them before I put glitter glue on, it's a pink to blue duochrome, and I just thought, well, I'd want more duochromes. So that's that one there. So that's Giggler. And then the next shade is called Airy. Colourpop in a Trance, and it would be Future Self, which is that one there, which is a very, very light blue. It's almost like a sky blue. I'm just going to pull this back a little bit. So far, I don't know if you can see, so far they're the shades. Then the next one is Zest, and that's from Moira. And I know there's a lot of palettes here, guys, but like I said earlier, I'm not bothered about them being this many palettes. I'll write down the shades and how comparable they are to the Natasha Denona palette. Just do a look if you want. So Zest is this one here, Take a Moment. Let's just do another swatch. And then the last shade is called Feather, and that's from this palette as well. And that one is called, what, Sugarland, which is that one there. So that's the last shade. And then we've kind of got the similar vibe of the Natasha Denona palette. This is making me really excited, guys, to be honest. All those shades are making me really excited. We would need to scrap this one to make it a similar vibe, I think, and this one. But otherwise, I think it's really, really similar. Let's turn the light down. So that's what we're looking like. Ignore that shade there and that shade there. But yeah, it certainly gives me a similar vibe to the Natasha Denona palette. And right, guys, so doing that video has made me realise I don't need the Natasha Denona pastel palette right at this point. So I've done all the swatches, they're all on my arm, you're not going to see them here, and that's why I took you over to the vanity table. There's a couple that I put on my arm that aren't similar, like this one here and this one here. This yellow, but the rest of the shades give me that similar vibe that tell me I don't really need the Natasha Denona pastel palette. The only reason I'd contemplate getting it is for her formula. I have made no secret about loving the Natasha Denona formula, but so the swatches of that palette that I have seen, not just on that one person on Instagram, but on a few different people, are weak, guys. These swatches are better, so I feel like, should I be paying £60 on a palette when I've got better pastels at home? I don't think so. So for now, guys, I'm not buying the palette. I just thought I'd give you a heads up on that. What do you think of this new series? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll be doing it on other palettes that I am thinking about buying, so I'll be doing it quite regularly. If there are any palettes that I'm thinking about buying, then I'll come on here and I'll share my thoughts about it. I'll see if we can dupe it a little bit. Now, you can never actually dupe a palette without having both palettes side by side, I don't think, but you can see if you can get that similar vibe off a palette. And I truly feel like all my eyeshadow palettes that I have here, I've managed to dupe it. I've even got some of Natasha Denona's pastels anyway in my Triochrome palette that I've got of hers. So yeah, I don't feel like I need it right at this minute. So we're going to leave it here. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you're going to pick it up. And I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.